The Malle Mile Festival, a festival about racing, old motorcycles and old cars and lots of other shenanigans. However, there is a catch, because I don't have a motorcycle. So Niels, we almost made it to the Malle Mile.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. After over 1,000 kilometers. Let's go! As you can tell, we're in a van and it's a motorbike festival. So our quest for the Malle Mile is get something to ride to take part in the festival. Let's go! The reason why me and my friend Niels were not on our motorbikes, we were going here on very short notice and we already did 1,000 kilometers, but now really needed a break before making the last few miles to the Malle Mile Festival. Okay, so we now just made it to the Malle Mile. We changed into some fresh clothes and this is a really nice festival. You can already hear the engines in the background, you can see the castle, and this is a festival where everyone gets to ride. Well, everyone who has a motorcycle, which is where my problem comes in. I'm here and I did not manage to organize myself here a bike. So we will now go to the first party. The races are starting tomorrow in the morning, so we need to organize a motorbike relatively quick. We will go for a beer, or as I like to refer to it, social lubricant, and see what we can get done. So off we went and I had my eyes on being able to race tomorrow. There were multiple options. One of the options were here, these classic 350s with off-road tires. However, I would like something that's a bit lighter and with a bit more power. I don't think we were going to be competitive in the races with 21 horsepower. Okay, so we're riding over the festival and Niels is doing a tremendous job of riding this bicycle. And well, I'm basically chilling.
We have no motorcycle, but at least we got a bicycle.
Yeah. And trying to still find something on the search for a bike. So the second day of the Malle Mile Festival, I slept well, I'm a bit hungover, and I'm currently on my way to the Moto Polo, which is a mixture of football and motorcycles. And yeah, yesterday we did not manage to get one thing work, and that is actually getting a bike. I now managed to get my hands on the racing ticket, but without the bike that will be difficult. So yeah, let's see if we can figure something out. The Moto Polo could get a bit rough at some points, however it was so fun to watch and I cannot imagine how great it is to take part in it, something that I really would love to try one day. Which brings me back to we still need to find a bike to race, and this is a really good option because electric bikes have an enormous advantage at the Malle Mile. Because almost all the races are off-road and these bikes are basically mountain bikes with crazy acceleration and no shifting. And Niels actually became second last year and lost to an electric motorcycle, so for him it was particularly interesting. I, however, was eyeing up the Triumph Scrambler 400, which was a good blend of all the different things, and we really needed to hurry to get our hands on a motorcycle because we already missed the first event and the biggest and most fun race of the whole weekend, the Super Scramble, was just 1 hour away. So our search for getting a bike on the Malle Mile Festival is over because Triumph was so kind to save our asses, and I'm now here with the Triumph Scrambler 1200X. What a beautiful bike, and I will now take it on a Scrambler run. We will be riding different bikes from Triumph over the weekend in different races. So happy about it. Definitely huge appreciation to them. And what a gorgeous bike here, especially with this upswept exhaust. Really curious how it's going to handle the events of the Malle Mile. So we did it, and the Super Scramble is about to start. It's an over 20-kilometer rally all over the Grimstorp Castle estate with over 1,500 riders. And Niels also managed to arrive a few seconds before the start on a Triumph. During the ride it was insanely dusty, you could barely make out the figure of the guy in front of you. We were in the first 100 people of the pack, and damn that people here already take this serious. The pace was incredibly rapid, and we were the only two guys that were not on enduros or adventure bikes with our 230 kilo heavy scramblers, and we were really pushing what the word scrambler means. We were now going over the grass, and the grass was really slippery, and right here at this point I almost went straight in the curve, hitting a tree. We were about to encounter a pretty fast part of the track with a lot of bumps that were unmarked, and I was about to find out that it's also pretty easy to injure yourself while racing.
Kann ich meine Beine noch bewegen? Good, but this motorcycle is not made for this. I bottomed out so hard, I really...
The bumps, all the ditches.
Like I genuinely really felt one in my spine where for like a solid 5 seconds.
It's fun, but you don't see anything.
Yeah, like for a solid 5 seconds I was just like, oh fuck, my back hurts.
Over the bumps I've suffered a slight compression of my spine, however I had my feelings back within a minute and I was pretty sure that I was fine and there's no permanent damage. However, I was pretty much in pain surely for the next 2 weeks. However, I took this as a hint to ride a bit more chill and take less risk. We were back on somewhat of a road, and this meant we could truly stretch the legs of the Triumph Scrambler 1200, getting the bike up to 90 miles an hour.
What happened just half an hour ago? How come you're so dirty?
Well, we just went on the Scramble ride here at the Malle Mile festival, and it was really dusty. We were in the beginning of the pack, like we were really far ahead. However, it was still so dusty. We partially we partially had to ride up like fields on the side to get out of the dust, and it was just madness, going like elbow to elbow with enduros. And I bottomed out with the bike once so hard that I need to lie down for today. But we had a really good time, and that was just that's illegal to do is wild.
But we had a great time with these bikes. You can see they're super dusty, but one thing,
You sound like an old man, just finding excuses.
Yeah, I do sound like an old man, and I feel like an old man right now. But I had a ton of fun. This was really, really great, and I'm curious what the next few days will hold for me. And yeah, definitely need a shower now. But first, let's get something to drink because it was almost 30 degrees on the Friday of the Malle Mile. Oh, I see you're working on a motorcycle. That's nice.
Hey, buddy.
Hi. Wait, I get over to you.
Let's take a seat. Let's have a chat.
Yeah, let's have a chat over here. Ugh. So, you're right now here fixing the bikes on the Malle Mile, right?
Yeah, that's what we do here. We're the machine shop based out of Hillclimb. We've been here for a couple of years now, and we're essentially the pit crew. What we want to show people is you can fix your own bike, because something that I say to everyone who comes here is none of us are professional mechanics. The shop itself is in Hillclimb. We're right next to Triumph and Royal Enfield. We even have a few members who are engineers and mechanics who will do stress testing, various jobs at those big motorcycle brands. But it's really nice because we've got people who haven't got a clue what they're doing next to people who are very highly skilled in what they do. Some of our guys do contract work for the MOD, which is Ministry of Defence, if your audience aren't familiar with it.
If you want to see what Guy is doing, check him out on Instagram at I am Guy
Markham.
Yeah.
So it's just I am Guy Markham on Instagram.
It was already dusk. However, that didn't mean that the lunacy was about to end. So we're here now at the Malle Mile, and we're about to do e-motorcycle jousting. Sounds scary, and I'm here with Guy.
Get on. We've just met and now we're fighting to the death.
Yeah, and hopefully this goes well. I have a little chest protection thing and about to get pushed off a driving e-motorcycle. Yeah, let's go.
Oh damn, that thing is actually pretty solid.
So the basics of motorcycle jousting. You win by either making the other guy go down or popping your balloon on his chest. We were 6 players in the tournament and winner stays on. Sadly, Guy was out first. I saw us as a little team and would have loved to go against him in the finale.
The balloon?
No one popped.
Okay. Did I won?
You won!
Yeah!
won, Justin.
I won! Woo!
Well done, brother!
Yeah!
Well done, man!
I won jousting! Wow!
Bloke's much better than last.
Yeah.
Well done, boy. Well done.
Yeah!
Let me take that one off.
Woo! I won the motor jousting!
It's wild that
Woo!
nobody has actually died just yet. But you know what?
So, I just woke up in my tent and the weather looks nice. However, it's a bit more cloudy, and that's actually a good thing because yesterday it was so dusty. And today the races will start at 9:30, so I kind of need to get up to organize a motorbike and all these kind of things. However, winning the Moto jousting yesterday was incredibly fun, and I really had such a good time. While it was raining, I had some British breakfast that would make every man a really good sailor, and rain and sunshine were changing every few minutes throughout the day. So I'm right now here in front of the castle where all the different art custom bikes are standing, and it's so nice to see all these bikes together. There are a lot of really beautiful like Scrambler builds. One that's kind of inspiring for my bike that I have at home, because over there is a Ranfield that has the fairing with their lights outside, and maybe I do that to my own bike. And over there is a content creator that I sometimes actually catch myself watching on Instagram. He builds like
1990s super sport bikes. I'll talk to him in a second. And until then, let me show you my favorite bikes here of this like custom bike expedition. So here at the Malle Mile, I stumbled across this really gorgeous bike, and it's a bike I saw quite a lot on Instagram from a content creator and builder that always makes me stop scrolling. Hacks Moto, right? And what a gorgeous bike, and what is it that you do with these motorbikes that they look like out of this period and the metalwork behind it?
Yeah, I kind of fully strip it and then redesign it completely, like based on all the 90s bikes that I'm inspired by, so YZF 750s and TZRs and FZR 400s, all the little bits from all of them in this. So that's kind of new bike underneath and then old school like aesthetic. But yeah, it's all kind of just designed and made from scratch in aluminium. So the next one would be in carbon fiber, and it would be with molds taken from this. So effectively, yeah, you can reduce the build time and make a production line. That's kind of the dream, but to do that I need orders to come in, and that's the next bit. That's kind of why I'm here, promoting it, testing it, and we're going to obviously sprint it down the driveway and test it, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah, but it's early days. It's been finished a month ago, so yeah, I'm just in that phase now of kind of marketing it and trying to launch it and do all that.
Honestly, definitely check it out. I'm linking his Instagram down below because it's one of the few things that I myself stumble across on the social medias quite regularly and that I really like. And what a gorgeous bike. I'll show you some more shots of it in a minute. And definitely thank you for the short little interview. And I hope you have a lot of success with this because this is great. I know this is a motorcycle channel, but damn are these cars gorgeous. This is Morgan's flagship model. It sadly only comes in automatic. In contrast to this gorgeous looking three-wheeler, which is basically the perfect fun car. Manual transmission, the engine behind the front axle. It's an engine that's easy to service from Ford. And just look at this beauty. Only drawback, I cannot really sit in it, which is kind of demoralizing because this has been my dream car for a really long time. However, now I got my eyes on another car from Morgan with a manual and 255 horsepower out of a BMW engine. What a gorgeous car, and all of them are cheaper than you would expect. Let's get back to motorcycles because we still have a few races to take part in. For the races, I was back on the Triumph Scrambler 1200X, which I was happy about because I'm already used to the bike. However, we had a bit different conditions today. It was really muddy because of rain during the night and now rain during the day and all the motorbikes riding around. The race we are racing for now was the Hillclimb, an off-road race over multiple curves up a hill, and we were racing that because the off-road sprint, which the Triumph would have been ideal for, we could not access because there was communication issues with marshals and they did not let everyone through. Also, the classes were completely off. All the street bikes and the mini bikes got all put into the same group as the enduros. In a way, the races for me were over before they started. The electronics didn't let me start in second, and also the engine had a protective system that when the wheel was spinning, it was not revving above 5,000 RPM to protect the engine and the rider, and that meant I lost my advantage on the straights and the deep mud, which is actually a good way of managing an off-road mode. However, it's not ideal if you try to keep up with enduros on wet, muddy grass surface. So it seems like my racing for the day is done. I managed to get into the knockout rounds at the Hillclimb in the Scrambler class with a bike that is way heavier because the other bikes were all enduros. And at the end we lost to a Yamaha XJ, which I proudly lose to because that was my first bike. And we dropped the bike once the foot brake is bent. Let's see if we can bend it back, and yeah, hopefully that's all good. So So we're now back here at the Triumph stand with the Triumph Scrambler 1200X, and what a really nice bike. And I have to say I really enjoyed the festival, the focus on racing, that we were able to take part in the events, win the Moto Jousting. How amazing is that? Sadly, we got kicked out of the knockout rounds at the Hillclimb because the Scrambler class this year was not scramblers like this, but basically everything that was off-road capable. And even though I really enjoyed the off-road riding with this machine, I was not obviously able to keep up with a two-stroke enduro. However, we kept up with them enough to get into the knockout rounds, but at the end, I'm actually happy that I lost it against the Yamaha XJ600, because that was my first bike. I did a lot of like off-road focused videos with it. There were a bunch of XJ600 4BRs here, which is like, I made so many videos off-roading that machine, and then it kind of influenced the way that the festival looked at the end of the day, because people came up to me that were on XJ600s and were like, yo, I was looking for a cheap bike to off-road, saw your videos, just got one and went to the Malle Mile with it. I was like, that's so cool that basically that spirit from like the first 100 videos on my channel carried into this festival. That's really, really nice. And all in all, I really enjoyed it. Definitely check it out, and see you guys in the next video. Check out the Patreon and the other socials, and see you soon.